This was the most reckless police chief I've ever seen. Out of nowhere, he opened the train door and started peeing outside. A kind man beside him warned, "That's dangerous," but the chief didn't care and said, "Relax, I'm a pro." Moments later, he got a close-up with the ground. The man couldn't help but say, "Wow, this guy's tough." He fell and instantly fell asleep. The next morning, a group of officers were patrolling the train. The man panicked. He had just robbed his boss the day before, stealing $3 million, money that would have taken the guy 10 years to earn, gone in a flash. That man's name was Sasha. He and his partner split up. His buddy flew to Primary while Sasha took the train. They agreed that if anything went wrong, they'd send each other a single dot as a warning. Everything went smoothly for Sasha's partner, but Sasha wasn't so lucky. As soon as he boarded the train, the police chief barged into his cabin. Luckily, the man was just a passenger, on his way to a new post. Sasha suggested they have a drink together. After a few shots, the chief suddenly said, "You're a criminal, aren't you? Better surrender." The words sent chills down Sasha's spine. Luckily, it was just a joke. Still, it nearly gave him a heart attack. A bit tipsy, the chief went out to take a leak. Sasha followed, only to see him open the train door and pee outside again. Sasha warned him, but the chief ignored it and fell right off the train before reaching his destination. The next morning, Sasha got a call from his partner saying everything was fine, but before he could breathe easy, he felt a gun pressed to the back of his head. Just as things got tense, Sasha's partner sent the agreed signal, a single dot. Sasha immediately knew something was wrong, and right then, the police burst in for a smuggling inspection. His bright future shattered before it could begin. Thinking fast, Sasha threw on the police chief's uniform and pretended to be him. Just like that, he breezed through the inspection. Later, Sasha went to a diner to plan his next move. When a waitress complained about a customer skipping the bill, he snapped, "What's that got to do with me?" Then realized he was still in uniform. Awkwardly, he added, "I'm off duty today." But when the guy started bullying the waitress, Sasha couldn't take it anymore. He stepped in and taught him a lesson. That's when Sasha got an idea. He'd use the chief's identity to forge a passport and disappear. Sasha took all the files to the local precinct. From that moment on, he was Chief Gavrilov. All the officers stood in line for orders, but Sasha's first command was to go drink at the nearby bar, his treat. Clearly, he knew how to win people over. When Sasha saw Natalia at the precinct, he whispered to his subordinate, "She's got a nice figure." The subordinate replied, "That's my mom." Everyone toasted to their new chief. The first day went smoothly, but what would happen if the real police chief showed up? Sasha took down the real chief's photo and replaced it with his own, even darkening the ID photo to cover his tracks. Just as he finished, a local businessman showed up to curry favor. Seems being chief wasn't such a bad gig after all. The businessman said thanks to Sasha, their rivals were paying higher protection fees. Naturally, Sasha couldn't let these thugs run wild. Back when he was a thief, those punks were still teething. So Sasha met the two thugs for a little lesson. They immediately promised to straighten things out and shook hands to make peace. Back at his office, one of his men brought him a letter filled with cash. Such kindness was hard to refuse. Sasha gladly pocketed it. Not long after, the businessman returned complaining that the fees had gone up again. The thug said he had to set aside a cut as a tribute for Sasha. That's when Sasha realized they had misunderstood him and asked for another meeting to clear things up. This time, the thug was firm. If Sasha didn't take the bribe, they'd keep all the protection money for themselves. Sasha told the thug to look to the side. Thinking it was a hidden camera, the man turned only for Sasha to smirk. "It's just a deer head." Realizing he'd been fooled, the thug grabbed Sasha's shirt. That gave Sasha the perfect excuse for self-defense. He snapped the guy's finger instantly. From then on, the thug dared not collect protection money again. Sasha wasn't the selfish type. He practiced reverse bribery, sharing the money he got with his subordinates. This time, they lined up to thank him. Soon after, Sasha received his next case. A clerk at a phone shop reported that several phones had been stolen. As soon as he arrived, Sasha spotted something suspicious. He deliberately picked up a phone and walked toward the exit. The alarm went off instantly. On the counter, he noticed a playing card on a keychain. Sasha figured the thief was a gambler desperate for cash, stealing the phones while pretending to report the theft himself. After making a call to demand money, the clerk gave himself away. Sasha's men still didn't believe it, so Sasha decided to challenge the guy to a card game. After a few rounds, the clerk kept winning and laughed smugly. When he finally let his guard down, Sasha turned the tables in a single game. The clerk was stunned. He knew if he didn't pay up, he was as good as dead. Sasha seized the chance to press him, and the man confessed he was both the thief and the victim. He even promised to be Sasha's informant. Sasha's subordinates were shocked, impressed by his sharp instincts. That day, a young officer named Nikolai saw a homeless man rummaging through trash. Thinking he was a drunk troublemaker, he brought him in to see Sasha. The moment Sasha saw him, his heart dropped. It was the real Chief Gavrilov. After an examination, the doctor said Gavrilov had brain damage from repeated trauma. It turned out Gavrilov had survived the train fall. He tried to hitch a ride but got hit by a passing car instead. Two passers-by saw him lying motionless and, thinking he was dead, decided to help by dumping him into a bush. Luckily, an elderly couple later found him and helped him crawl out, eventually reaching the police station. When the doctor mentioned an MRI, Sasha quickly stopped him. What if he's a criminal? What if fixing him means he kills again? Understanding what Sasha meant, the doctor left it to him. Sasha then had Gavrilov sent to a mental hospital. That same day, Sasha got a call from a school principal. One of the students had pulled a knife on a classmate to extort money. Though the boy denied it, the principal sided with the mayor's son and two other witnesses. She sneered, "No father at home, no manners," and expelled the boy on the spot. The boy's mother, Lyudmila, pleaded not to expel her son. The nearest other school was over 50 kilometers away. Sasha objected, "I grew up without a father too, but that didn't stop me from becoming police chief." He noted the knife wasn't even sharp, it was just a toy replica he had given the boy earlier. In private, Sasha learned the truth. The mayor's son and his friends bullied the boy, and he only used the knife to scare them, but they twisted the story, accusing him of extortion. Sasha confronted the two bullies, warning them that falsifying evidence could land them in jail. Just then, Officer Nikolai arrived with a photo he had taken. It turned out the two boys had peed on the mayor's car. Sasha warned, "If you don't tell the truth, I'll show this picture to your dad." Terrified, they confessed everything. Watching the bullying video, the mayor was speechless. The principal tried to cover it up, saying, "It's probably been edited maliciously." Not wanting the public to know his son was a delinquent, the mayor quietly buried the case. Later, Sasha dreamed that his secret was exposed and his men turned their guns on him. He jolted awake. It was just a nightmare. Checking his pocket, he found the 3 million still there. Relieved, he sighed in relief. Something was off at the police station that day. As soon as Sasha came downstairs, his co-workers suddenly changed the subject, as if afraid he might overhear. One of them even held his photos secretly, and Sasha's gut told him something bad was about to happen. Could his nightmare actually be coming true? Before he could think too much, Nikolai came rushing in, asking for help. They needed to check on a man who'd been beaten by his wife. The neighbors said the woman was terrifying. Her two previous husbands had gone missing, and last night there were sounds of a brutal fight. The man claimed he did nothing wrong yet still got beaten, but he didn't dare fight back. Hearing the door open, he whispered to Sasha, "Don't let her know who you are." Sasha wasn't scared. It's just a woman, he thought. How bad could it be? The wife, furious at the uninvited guests, raised her hand to hit her husband, but Sasha stepped in. A second later, Nikolai froze in shock. Apparently Sasha had slipped and fallen. Changing tactics, Sasha calmly sat down to talk. He learned her previous husbands had been lured away by her younger sister. That's why she guarded her current husband so closely. She hit her husband because he'd glanced at a woman in the post office. The man protested, "I was just looking at the stamps." The misunderstanding cleared, and they hugged in relief. On the way back, Nikolai accidentally played a voice message from Natalia, "Keep an eye on Sasha, don't let him come back to the station." Panicking, Nikolai explained, "They're fumigating the station." Sasha gave him a look that said, "Do you really think I'm buying that?" Once back at the station, Sasha knocked Nikolai out and was ready to flee, but remembered his 3 million was still in the office. He sneaked back to grab it, only to get caught. Inside, he realized everyone was throwing him a surprise birthday party. Startled, Sasha fired a shot at the wall. The bullet pierced right through his portrait, making everyone jump out of their skin. After a brief silence, the station broke into laughter and singing again. For the first time, Sasha saw them all truly relaxed and happy. Lyudmila saw Sasha leaving and went to give him a gift she'd prepared, but when she saw him laughing with Natalia, she turned away in quiet disappointment. After some time as police chief, Sasha began developing real instincts. Spotting a car with a shattered windshield and loose bumper, he grew suspicious. The nervous driver's reaction said it all. It was clearly a hit and run. Sasha brought them in for questioning. During questioning, Sasha and his partner played good cop, bad cop, slapping them 1 minute, offering candy the next, but the suspects said nothing. Then, the man who'd been abused by his wife showed up, giving Sasha an idea. Sasha asked his team to act as witnesses and had the abused husband pose as a hit-and-run victim. "They ran me over downtown," the man claimed. "That's a serious crime," Sasha added. Panicking, the man in the red jacket blurted out, "We hit someone on the highway, and he wasn't this skinny. I've got the dashcam footage to prove it." The two rushed to get the SD card, but when they played the footage, their faces went pale. They had hit the real police chief. Sasha quickly deleted the footage before anyone could see it and said calmly, "There's nothing on it." His colleagues exploded. "You're mocking the police. Were you behind that pharmacy robbery 2 days ago too?" The two were doomed no matter what, yet to everyone's surprise, Sasha let them go. "No victim, no crime," he said coolly, then he subtly turned his team's thinking around. Sometimes justice stands above the law, and compassion stands above justice. With that, Sasha not only kept his post as police chief but also won Natalia's heart, while Ludmila secretly fell for him too. Hearing noises from Sasha's office, his co-workers wisely waited outside. Nikolai tried to enter but was stopped. They didn't want to get fired tomorrow over something stupid. Once the noise stopped, Nikolai went in to report. Hearing that the police chief's wife had arrived, Sasha froze. Damn it, he thought, I'm done for. Trying to stay calm, Sasha told her to wait at a cafe downstairs. Natalia, hearing that Sasha was married, stormed off in anger. Back in her office, she called Ludmila at the cafe, asking her to keep an eye on them. Ludmila reluctantly agreed. Sasha pretended to be one of the chief's co-workers and met with his wife. When he learned she was there to file for divorce, he sighed in relief and took the papers back to sign. Natalia reminded him, if someone misses 3 court hearings, the divorce goes through automatically, so why'd she travel all this way just for a signature? Looking closer, Sasha realized she wanted a share of Gavrilov's house. Taking another man's place was one thing, but losing all his property over it, that Sasha couldn't allow. When Sasha refused to sign, Gavrilov's wife tried to charm him, touching his hand, pleading sweetly. Unfortunately, Ludmila snapped a photo and sent it straight to Natalia. As soon as Sasha stepped out, Natalia showed up, claiming her territory. The two women clashed instantly, grabbing hair, shouting, chaos everywhere. Natalia seized a bottle and smashed it over Gavrilov's wife's head, sending her to the hospital. When Sasha arrived, he saw Gavrilov staring at his wife, panicking. He made up an excuse to send him away. If Gavrilov remembered anything, it'd all be over. After the checkup, Gavrilov's wife was fine. Sasha warned, "You attacked a police officer, you could have gone to jail." Luckily, I talked Natalia down. Grateful, she left town immediately. Crossing the street, Sasha was nearly hit by a car. The driver didn't even apologize, blaming Sasha for jaywalking. Furious, Sasha grabbed his nose, ready to break it. To his shock, the driver turned out to be a colonel, his superior, who was there to test the officer's fitness. Sasha decided to run a quick test first. The results were disastrous. No one could do a pull-up, jump a tire, or run properly. By afternoon, they were all sprawled on the ground, gasping for air. He asked why Natalia wasn't there. Turns out, she was close with the colonel. Every year she was exempt from testing, sipping coffee in her office instead. Sasha arranged a meeting with the colonel, but the man couldn't take his eyes off Ludmila. Right in front of Sasha, he tried to grope her. Sasha told her to step aside, then grabbed the colonel's nose. "Do that again, and I won't hold back," he warned. The colonel backed off, humiliated. On the official test day, everyone was pushed to their limits. Sasha approached the colonel and said, "You can squeeze my nose as hard as you want." The colonel wasn't letting it slide. He ordered Sasha to run 10 kilometers with a gas mask on. Sasha accepted without hesitation. The first 2 laps were easy, but soon Sasha started gasping, hallucinating, then collapsed to the ground. His team rushed over, removing the mask. Seeing Sasha like that, the colonel sighed and decided to let everyone off the hook. Since Sasha's arrival, crime rates around town had plummeted. His team gathered to celebrate his promotion. He truly was the best thief turned police chief ever. While visiting a bank, Sasha stumbled into a robbery. Spotting the tattoo on the thief's arm, he realized it was the same guy he used to gamble with in prison. What a reunion. The robber pointed his gun at the bank teller and barked, "Hand over all the money." The teller quickly hit the silent alarm and calmly handed over the cash. Suddenly, Sasha appeared behind the robber with his gun drawn. The two recognized each other instantly. Sasha signaled for him to stay quiet and told him to pretend to take him hostage. He promised 300,000 in ransom money and a getaway car. The robber, taking advantage, grabbed Ludmila as another hostage. Sasha drove them away. On the road, the robber asked curiously how a thief like Sasha had become a police chief. Just as the man was about to spill too much, Sasha slammed the brakes. Ludmila hit her head and passed out. Sasha promised to get him safely to the station. Thinking he had the upper hand, the robber demanded Ludmila come too. Sasha snapped, "She's the woman I love." The two got out and argued. Even with a gun aimed at him, Sasha didn't flinch. But when the robber aimed at Ludmila, Sasha had no choice but to back down. He could only watch helplessly as the man drove off. Ludmila suddenly woke up and sprayed pepper spray into the robber's face. The car spun out of control. Sasha rushed in, rescued her, and fired warning shots. He didn't kill him, just said, "Don't ever come back." That night, back at the station, Ludmila kissed Sasha first. The heroic rescue had completely won her heart. Just when Sasha had it all, career and love, his old boss sent 2 men to track him down. On the way, they crashed into a wall and were hospitalized, coincidentally sharing a room with the real Gavrilov. The moment Sasha opened the door, his face turned pale. All 3 of them in the same room. I'm dead. Thinking fast, he lied that the 2 newcomers were drug dealers and asked the doctor to disguise him as a burn victim to be placed in the same room. While Sasha lay still, the 2 men began talking. Sure enough, they were hunting for him. One said, I swear, I can smell Sasha nearby. Sasha immediately threw a clamp to get the doctor's attention, had himself wheeled out, and instructed the doctor to sedate the 2. Once they were asleep, Sasha stuffed drugs into their pockets and changed their boss's number to his own. When they woke, Sasha called, pretending to be their boss. Sasha's fled abroad. Go after him now. The 2 men fell for it immediately. Just as Sasha got rid of them, Gavrilov caused more trouble, reenacting the drunk scene from the train in front of everyone. He even stood at the doorway pretending to pee out the window, mimicking his own fall from before. At this rate, Sasha's secret wouldn't last long. With no choice, Sasha took Gavrilov home to keep him under control. Meanwhile, the 2 henchmen got a real call from their boss, realized they'd been tricked, and turned the car around to hunt Sasha down. That day, Sasha saw a giant billboard with his face on it plastered across town. He immediately called the mayor, who said it was a reward for stopping the bank robbery. Sasha groaned, I'm so dead. Until now, Sasha had stayed under the radar, but with his face everywhere, it was only a matter of time before his old boss found him. Sure enough, the 2 spotted the billboard. The next morning, as Sasha stepped outside, they cornered him at gunpoint. With no choice, he surrendered and led them to the station to get the money. Sasha lied, saying the money was in his office, and insisted only he could enter. Once inside, he shut the door and looked for another way out. He opened the back vent, crawled inside, and whispered to himself, you guys wait out there, I'm taking the shortcut. Sasha sneaked into his office, grabbed the bag of money, and jumped from the 2nd floor, ready to make his getaway. But Nikolai, drunk out of his mind, suddenly lunged forward, sending the car spinning in circles. The chaos ended only after everyone dragged him out. Earlier, one of the boss's henchmen, still recovering from a head injury, had left the hospital too soon. During their mission, he fainted, and Sasha had no choice but to take him back. The nurse said only 1 visitor was allowed. Afraid Sasha would escape, the other man let him go in alone, without realizing he just made a big mistake. The man only had heatstroke, but Sasha convinced the doctor to say it was a terminal illness, telling him to cherish his final days. Hearing that, Sasha said, let's split the stolen money 3 ways. Forget your boss, you're dying anyway. The 2 men agreed and left with the cash. Once they were gone, Sasha pulled back the blanket on the next bed, revealing the rest of the hidden money. He slipped 1 bill under the patient's pillow in thanks for the hospitality. At home, Natalia, jealous of Sasha and Ludmila, went to his house and slept with Gavrilov. When Sasha suddenly returned, she quietly slipped away in panic. Watching footage of the train on TV, Gavrilov suddenly remembered something. He opened Sasha's bag and saw it full of cash. When he stepped away to the restroom, all his memories came flooding back. It hit him, he had seen that money before. Sasha had stolen it and taken his identity as police chief. While Sasha was showering, Gavrilov grabbed the money and ran. Furious, Sasha ordered every officer to hunt him down and print wanted posters. Natalia saw Gavrilov's photo being printed and stopped the officer, thinking Sasha had discovered her affair. Panicking, she said, just print someone else's picture instead. So the police searched the town with fake photos. Seeing them, Gavrilov quickly hid the money in a garbage truck, but Nikolai saw him. Startled, Gavrilov ran off, calming down only when he realized Nikolai wasn't after him. While they were talking, the garbage truck drove away. At the same time, Sasha's team brought in the wrong suspect. When he arrived, he realized it was all a misunderstanding. Nikolai told Sasha where Gavrilov went, and he raced off. Meanwhile, Natalia showed up at the dump, pointing a gun at Gavrilov to silence him about their affair. Gavrilov tried to flee, but Sasha cut him off. Seeing the money still there, he relaxed. Just as Gavrilov was about to reveal the truth, Natalia fired a warning shot, forcing him to stay quiet. She took all the blame. Honestly, Sasha was incredibly lucky. Every time his secret was about to surface, someone unknowingly saved him. Sasha went along with Natalia's story, saying he'd only overreacted because of betrayal, then promised everyone a bonus tomorrow. After everyone left, Sasha and Gavrilov sat down. Gavrilov said, "You're the real chief now, you've got a new life, I'll sell you the title. I don't even want the job back," he added, "use your cash to buy it from me." Sasha agreed, and Gavrilov only took a small cut. Sasha and Ludmila could finally live in peace together. Meanwhile, Gavrilov, with a fortune in hand, lived a carefree life of indulgence. When he saw his favorite band performing, he joyfully threw money at them to keep singing. In his drunken excitement, Gavrilov accidentally revealed Sasha's full name, and by coincidence, Sasha's old boss overheard it. Terrified, Gavrilov dropped to his knees and gave up Sasha's exact location. The next morning, Sasha discovered that Ludmila's son had been kidnapped. He instantly knew his old boss was behind it. Rushing downstairs, he found only the boy's dropped phone. Following the clues, Sasha learned there was a hotel nearby that took in outsiders. Going there alone, he spotted two men in black suits in the hallway and confirmed the room number. Inside, the boy was already trying to free himself. He used a ruler to cut through the tape, hid behind the door, and when Sasha entered, he smashed a vase over him and ran. When Sasha regained consciousness, he saw Gavrilov tied up too. Hearing noises outside, he peeked through and saw Ludmila and her son being dragged away. Moments later, Sasha got a call from his old boss. He growled, "If either of them is hurt, I'll make you pay." They agreed to meet that night. When Sasha arrived, the boss hesitated, unsure whether to call him Sasha or Chief. One of the henchmen took Sasha's gun. The boss ordered Ludmila brought out. Seeing she was unharmed, Sasha told Gavrilov to hand over the money. But greed got the better of Gavrilov. He turned the car around and fled. The boss roared, "You little bastard, you dare mess with me." Sasha seized the moment, wrested his gun back, and took the boss hostage. The tension in the room was electric. At that moment, two cars arrived. It was the government officials Sasha had contacted. The entire gang was arrested on the spot. It turned out Sasha had called them beforehand, promising to personally deliver the criminals. Thanks to that, he successfully rescued Ludmila and her son. The boy revealed he'd overheard the kidnappers saying Sasha wasn't a real cop, but he promised to keep it secret because he believed Sasha was a good man. Everything seemed to be over, but one loose end remained. Gavrilov boarded a train with the money, while Sasha entered his cabin. This time, their seats and their identities had switched. Sasha's peaceful life was finally beginning. And that's the end of Inspector Gavrilov. What do you think of the movie? If you enjoyed it, comment 1. If you think it's just okay, comment 2. Thanks for watching, and see you in the next recap.